Dana Denha, and this is Art Fair Close-Up 2018. I'm here with John Hartung. I'm assuming this is photography, right?
It is. Yes, it is.
So why don't you tell me about how you kind of get these images, and
Okay.
some of them seem like almost impossible to get.
Well, thank you. Most of my images are actually of real living animals, but I try to have fun with it and not take myself too seriously. So I do a few not so living animals and make them kind of lifelike. And yeah, most of my images just takes a lot of patience using different lenses. Every now and then, though, especially when I'm trying to have real fun, is I will use Photoshop to combine images, kind of like this one.
Yeah. So are you going on extravagant trips and stuff like that?
My last big trip was the Galapagos Islands. I got back in March from that. But essentially every year I try to make one major trip, and then I'm always doing little smaller trips throughout.
Yeah. So how did you harbor this love for animals?
Probably ever since I was little, and it just kept continuing to grow and grow and grow. So, yeah.
So do you find it hard, though, to get the animals to kind of do different things, or like you said, you're just like waiting around for a long time for that perfect shot?
I mean, occasionally I can come up with a sound that will get their attention, but most of the time I'm just waiting.
What's maybe the most unique animal that you've gotten to capture?
Oh, that one's hard. Unique.
Or maybe one of your favorites?
Okay. Coming back from the Galapagos Islands, I really love the blue-footed boobies, and so really excited about that. I've already sold out of all my canvases, but I still have them, and yeah, they're really fun animals, and they are unique because they got their bright blue feet, and they do funny dance when they're trying to attract their mate.
Can you talk about your process a little bit in post when you're doing your Photoshop work?
So essentially, after when I take all my photos, I put them into Lightroom, and Lightroom becomes my main dark room. And so Lightroom, I'm doing all the adjustments as far as color balance, shadows and highlights, getting it just right. And a lot of times that's where it ends, right there in Lightroom. If I go further and I want to combine images, which I do maybe 5% of the time, then I'll bring it into Photoshop. Or if something else a little bit more extravagant that I can't easily do in Lightroom, then I bring it into Photoshop. But one of the hardest parts of my job, at least for me, is going back through all the images I've taken and trying to pull out the best ones.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure it's hard to figure out which one's the greatest shot. Do you have a website or any way people can contact you if they're interested in your artwork?
Yes, it's artthatsmiles.com.
All right, well, thank you, John.
Certainly, thank you.
And stay tuned for more from the Ann Arbor Art Fairs.